Do you want to be able to eat more food but without gaining unnecessary body fat? Well, in this video, I want to show you the steps for how to be able to do that and allow that to actually boost your abilities to reach the body fat levels that you want in the very near future. Welcome to DadBod Fitness. If you and I are just meeting, my name is David and I help crazy busy dads to be able to build a physique. So if you want to maximize your muscle growth, strip the body fat, and transform your life while leading your family, consider subscribing. All right, so to start this off, it's a little bit of a story time here. So I have never been one to have ever had a hard time gaining weight. It's come fairly naturally to me. And throughout most of my life, I always thought, as I would get older, I just would continually struggle more and more to be able to stay at a relatively lean body fat. Although I didn't think about it too much, but I knew that would probably be on the horizon. And even looking, out of college into my first few years of marriage, into that point, I went from probably around 145, 150, all the way up to, at my most, at about 165. And that was not muscle. That was purely body fat. And it was about at that point that my wife actually encouraged us both to do the Arbonne 30 Days to Healthy Living. And after doing that, in about 4 or 5 weeks, I actually lost about 10 pounds. That was without tracking. I didn't track my calories, I just changed my nutrition. And it was massive results that I saw. And if you want to learn more about that, I'll link a video up here above. But that was my first moment of realizing the impact of nutrition on my body. That was the first time that I actually dieted, and it really sparked a fire in me that led me to where I'm at right now. So after that point, I then actually tried to build some muscle for about 7 months at that point, and then went into another dieting phase. I really wanted to get to that lean point that I had seen so many people online have, and I felt like I was at the point where I could do that. And after only 7 months of bulking, I'd built some muscle, but really not anything significant. Little did I know what results I would come, so I was adamantly determined to get to that point. And I went on a very intense diet. It was about 12 to 13 weeks, somewhere around there. And I kept dropping calories lower and lower and lower. And I got down to about 1,700 calories, which for me, although I'm not a big guy, I've never been able to eat massive amounts of food. But even still, getting down to 1,700 calories was really low. It was really low for me. And that got really difficult, led to some unhealthy habits. I'll link a video up above if you want to learn more about that as well, and how you can actually learn from it. But at the point that I came out of that diet, I did not look the way that I wanted to. I lost weight, but I did not lose the body fat that I was looking to lose. So I actually really think I lost mostly muscle. And at the end of that point, I moved into a maintenance phase and actually started to gain weight at around 2,300 calories, maybe 2,400 calories is where I started to actually gain weight. That was almost 2 years ago. I'm now actually maintaining my weight at somewhere around 3,400 calories. That still blows my mind to even say. And I never thought this would be the case for me, because I'm not one to even struggle with gaining weight. And I'm now literally at a point where it's hard for me to stomach the food that I need to eat to gain weight. And I did an Instagram post about this recently. That is not me spewing at all about how much food I can eat, because that's not my case for literally 99% of my life. But I'm going to tell you these steps that I've taken that have actually gotten me to this point. And the next time, which will be soon here, that I'm going to actually want to diet down and lose a little bit of body fat, this is making it so tremendously easy for me to be able to do that. Now, it's a longer process. It's not something that happens like that, but it's a very simple process, and it just takes consistency, dedication, and tracking, really, to know what it is that you're doing. So here's the steps that I want you to take. If you want to be able to do this, you can do this. So the step one is you've got to be resistance training. You've got to be lifting weights. And not just lifting weights, pick a program, pick several exercises. I've got a free program that you can download. I'll link a video up here to where you can download that. I'll also put in the description below. Free full program that'll get you going. Tracking your lifts. Your goal here is to try and get higher and higher each week. You want to be lifting more, doing more reps, be progressively overloading your muscles. The next step that I took was that I was in a calorie surplus. Now, right after my maintenance phase, I went to a very conservative calorie surplus. I was probably 100 to 200 calories over maintenance. Maybe 100 is probably where you could start. Be tracking your actual body weight so that you're watching what the scale is doing, and be tracking your calories to know how much you're eating. With that, I very consistently then increased my weight very slightly. You're talking I was probably somewhere between 1/4 pound to 1/2 pound a week, sometimes not at all. And it's been a slow process. It's been almost 2 years now, and I conservatively bulked. A lot of times my weight would stall out. I'd increase calories a little bit, stall out, and increase calories a little bit. So it was very little bits over time. You're talking maybe every 6 to 8 weeks I would actually increase calories, and I might only increase it by 50. Sometimes it was 100. I've now built muscle, kept my body fat levels very much in check. They haven't changed much at all since I actually finished my maintenance phase after my last diet, and it's been tremendous, the results that I've been able to see, and I want you to be able to see the same thing as well. What this really is it's called metabolic adaptation. Now, the same thing, this metabolic adaptation, that is a problem for you when you're actually dieting, eating less calories, because it's slowing your body down. Your body's becoming more efficient at burning calories. It's actually causing you to eat less and be able to eat less and less, and your weight may stall out. But on the flip side of that, it's actually your friend when you're in a slight surplus. So metabolic adaptation works the same way, just in the opposite direction. When you're consistently feeding yourself more and more in a controlled manner, mind you, it's going to allow your body's becoming less efficient with calories, less needing to be prioritizing the highest needs of your body. You just naturally move more. It's something called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, but your NEAT increases, little movements that you do throughout the day. Your body just naturally starts to burn more. On top of the fact that you might be weighing a little bit more, your weight is going up just a little bit more, so you're carrying more. All of those things lead to this metabolic adaptation. And what they found, I'm going to link an article, fascinating article down below. Metabolic adaptation increases your calories far more than what would be predicted. So it's a fascinating thing. The bottom line is pick a program and start resistance training, number one. Number two, be tracking your weights and your lifts. Make sure they're going up. Number three, be in a slight calorie surplus, somewhere around 100 calories, 100 to 200 calories maybe. And then number four, be tracking your actual body weight and see what you're doing. And number five, be tracking your calories so that you know that you're hitting that calorie surplus. And then the final step really is that when your weight stalls out, let it stall out for up to 2 weeks, and then consider increasing your calories. And you're increasing your calories very slightly by maybe 50 to 100 calories. That over time, it's going to take some time. And this is going to vary by person to person. You might not have the same results as me. You might have far more than me. There's some guys who they start eating a surplus, they'll be getting up to like 4,000 or 5,000, 6,000 calories, which is ridiculous. So just make sure that as you're tracking all of those things, you just slowly increase the calories. And when I say tracking, this doesn't have to be intense. Like, I literally will track my weights once a week. So I weigh myself every day, I punch it into my app. And then what I do is I actually average out my weights for the week, but I do it once a week just to see where am I at, is my weight where I want it to be? Does it need to go up? Do I need to let it sit for a little bit? And as you build these habits, it becomes very, very few moments throughout the day, because for crying out loud, you are busy. You've got far more important things to be dealing with than trying to figure out all these details. What I want to give you is the very quick, simple answers for how to build these tiny little habits into your day so that you just naturally then can do them, and so that you can be able to reach the point in your physique that you want to be able to reach. You don't have to be some sort of massive bodybuilder. You don't have to be some sort of shredded individual going into competitions, because that's not where I'm at. That's not what I want to do. But I want to be able to look my best, and you want to be able to look your best and be the healthiest that you can be to be able to serve your family, and so that your spouse is attracted to you. If you enjoyed that video, would you tap that like button? I truly would appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. Don't forget to subscribe as well to stay up to date for all the future content coming out. If you want that full program that I had mentioned, click and tap the screen right down over here. It's going to take you to that video. That video will give you the first full follow-along workout. Or click and tap the screen down over here if you want to check out another awesome video from the DadBod Fitness Library. And as always, be intentional and bring the intensity. And I cannot wait to see you on the next video.